number 5,549, and I guess I can rant all day about my situation and the situation that we're all in, but I guess my take is a different take than the usual take on this issue, and I guess I would say that most people would say that I am the American dream or whatever. Like, it's pretty ridiculous, you know, good grades, college, all that stuff. Once you come to the point where you realize what your status is and what your situation is and you're heartbroken or whatever, most of us take the path of wanting to fight it, wanting to become part of this movement, so-called movement. And I did that. I got involved in all that, but I soon realized that that is not in my heart and in my soul to follow something like that. And for example, things like the movement for immigration reform or the DREAM Act are, in my opinion, very delicate and in a way very twisted. First of all, to start off, like, to be identifying yourself as an immigrant, like, I don't identify as an immigrant, I identify myself as a human being. It really hurts my feelings as a human being to have to tell people, you know, like, oh, I'm a good student or I'm a good citizen for you. Like, no, you know, I'm a good human being because I'm a good human being. I'm not a good human being or a good student or a good citizen because I'm an immigrant. That doesn't make me who I am, and that's why I guess, like, it gets really tricky with, for example, the DREAM Act, when people are telling me, like, oh my God, you could do this, you could totally qualify, whatever. But at the same time, I ask myself, you know, I'm not a nationalist of any country, but I know what this country has done to all the countries all over the world, and there's something troubling in my heart that tells me that I have to, in a way, sell myself to say I want my education, and I don't think that's okay for me personally. I think my education is something so sacred, something so beautiful, that I don't think I can tell someone I'm gonna sell myself to you so that you can give me this, something that everyone has a right to. And just with the DREAM Act, certain things, like, for example, the join the military or whatever, you know, like, I don't think I'm okay with wanting to be part of a country so bad, a country that screwed, for example, the country that I came from to begin with, a country that sponsors wars, that sponsors a lot of bad things, and for me to have to say, I want to be a part of that. I want my rights so bad that I am willing to become a part of that. And I respect what other people want, and, like, I want my education just as the next straight A kid. I want all the things they want too. I want the freedom, I want, you know, but to what extent, I think, do we have to go to get those things? And I guess I got tired of having to, like, sell myself, sell my soul, sell my values, you know, to become what they want me to be. And for me personally, I don't think that's okay. I think for me, if I had a vision of something, I would have a vision of a bigger movement. It's not just an immigrant movement. It's an immigrant of women, of workers, of people of color in general. Because in a way, I see a lot of oppression, and I see how all the oppression is, like, related, not just immigration and not just, you know, all these bad things that are war and everything that's going on. So I guess, again, it's kind of conflicting, and I know a lot of people talk about how hard it is sometimes, like, oh, well, you can't drive, or you can't go to college, or you can't do all these things, but at the same time, like, I don't see my life being any other way, you know. I don't see my life being any different, and it is hard, it is very hard, and it's very painful, but in a way, it's, like, liberating. In a way, the more hard it gets and the more shit you get thrown at you, it's like the more you're aware of the world, and in a way, it's like you're, like, in chaos, but you are in peace in a way. I don't know if that makes any sense to anybody, but it's like there's so much chaos going on, but, like, for me internally, it's like there's peace. Like, it's like you see everything that's out there already, like, and you're aware of it, whereas some people are so sheltered and so, like, linear thinking that they don't see that. They don't see how all these issues are related, that it's not just an immigrant issue, and it's not just an immigrant movement, and it's not just, you know, like, having to sell everything you are to become something. And don't get me wrong, I totally respect what people want in their dreams and aspirations, I guess, and I want my education too, for example, but I just don't think that we're giving it enough thought to, like, what's going on. Like, we can't just put band-aids on things and say it's going to be okay. Oh, we'll make you guys citizens. We won't make you citizens. We'll give you papers, but you have to fight a war. We'll give you papers, but you have to, you know. There's something horribly wrong that I find with telling young kids or young people that are starting out their lives to say, you're numbers, that's all you are. You're numbers, and you're going to be good for the economy. You're going to be good for this capitalist system. And I think it's time for us to, like, give it some thought. I'm not saying think like me, but I'm just saying give it some thought about what your role is in this system and in this world, in this planet. I personally don't want to be part of that kind of a system. And I can't sit here and say that I have the answers, that I know how to fix things, or that I haven't figured out, because I totally don't. But I think it's time to, like, start giving it some thought, some, like, thought and, like, healing. I believe a lot in healing, and I don't think that this movement or these laws have allowed for healing and thought to what's going on with humanity in general. Instead, they're just naming things and putting band-aids on them, like, oh, immigrants here, oh, this, that, and, like, I don't see it going anywhere good. And, like, I know a lot of people might say that what I have to say is kind of crazy, but in reality, I'm saying this out of love and out of wanting to heal and out of wanting to better everything. It might be kind of idealistic, but I guess that's where I'm coming from. It's not really from a point of view of an immigrant or of a dream student. It's more of as a human being, like, just coming out and talking about those things and not having to be, you know, bounded, you know, like, still, like, they put all these boundaries on you already to begin with. Like, you're an immigrant, you're a woman, you're brown, all these things. But at the same time, it's like, when you, I think for me, when I start to, like, accept those roles, that's when I become more fenced in too. So I kind of just, I don't know. I agree with some of the things that the movement is doing, but I think we could also use more talking and healing and working more together instead of against each other. So.